Welcome. We will shortly be in conversation with interior designer Vicente Wolf. And here is Vicente. Hello, everyone. Hello, Vicente.
How are you?
Super. How are you?
Cold.
You're cold.
It's cold
Yes.
in New York.
It's cold here in England as well, but it's warm in this conversation. It's actually hot. While our audience joins us, let me start by introducing our talk. Hello everyone, this is Bold, Exploring Style, Business and Design. I'm UK-based author and brand strategist, Emilio Pimentel-Reed, and today I'm delighted to be in conversation with interior designer Vicente Wolf. For over 45 years, Vicente has been a design trailblazer, as well as a passionate traveler. From the spacious, light-filled loft in New York City, where his company is headquartered, Vicente and his team, Vicente Wolf and Associates, build on his passion for design, maintaining a portfolio that spans multinational conglomerates and private homes to hotels and restaurants across the globe. The studio's varied projects are consistently published internationally, and he's regularly listed in top designer lists. So we're thrilled to have you. Thank you, Vicente, for joining us.
Thank you, Emilio. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Vicente, how did you start in the interiors industry? What's the short personal narrative?
Well, that was so long ago that my memory fails me. But it really, it's the old saying, being at the right place at the right time. I had tried a lot of different directions in creativity, and it had not worked. And I was lucky enough to meet somebody who was in this industry, and it just it was very organic how it happened.
It was organic. And how did you become an interior designer? Did you partner with anyone? What is that part of the story?
No, I started working for freelancing for different people. Then I became an associate of a firm. And then from there, I became partners with Bob Patino. And the name of the firm was Patino Wolf until 1988. Then I went on my own.
Uh-huh. And what was that like, going on your own?
Very exciting. I think that when you start a business, I think it's the most exciting time of the process. Because it's the first job, the first bigger budget, and so it was a lot of fun. And, stressful, but exciting. And compared to now, it's more stressful and a little less exciting, but, I love what I do, so it's always a pleasure.
And I mean, you worked with Bob Patino for a while, and then there came a point where...
For 15 years.
For 15 years, right. And then there was a time when it came to you doing your own thing. And if I recall correctly, your home was featured shortly
in the New York
after
Times. When I went on my own, shortly after I went on my own, the New York Times saw my space, and they thought, we must show it, and it was shown in the Sunday magazine, like a 4-page spread, talking about the new white, the sense of open spaces with few mixtures of elements. And really, it just started the ball rolling very quickly.
Well, talk about being in the right place and in the right pages at the right time. It just shows the value of the right editorial coverage. And now, having had your studio for a long time, what do you think sets it apart from others in the industry?
I would say experience. I would say a very individual point of view that doesn't sway concerning what the moment, the mood of the moment is. But still evolving. I try to be my own person as it pertains to creativity. But I think that you have to be aware of what's going on around you. But I'm not following the trend. I think that it is a sense in this office, I do all the creative. So it's not that you're going into an office that has a big staff and then the staff takes over. In this office, I do the creating, and then the staff follows through. And I think that that's a big difference to a lot of firms.
It's great that your clients get to work with you, and that you're the one adding that creativity and that sparkle. And you have stayed modern and relevant for a long time, and obviously your work has evolved while still being true to yourself.
Yes, right. I think, any creative person that compromises their integrity in creating, I think it's a problem. It's a problem for your legacy. It's a problem for yourself. You need to be true to yourself and to what you do. To pay homage to the gifts you've been given as a creative person.
Talking about legacy, Vicente, tell us about your new book, Creative Interior Solutions, with wonderful text by Margaret Russell. Yeah.
First, it was a pleasure working with her because her insight, A, as a friend, and B, as a major editor-in-chief of two of the biggest publications, made it so easy to work on. It's about for me anyway, it's about keep passing on to the reader the experiences that I've had, what I've learned, what lessons I've learned, and letting people understand, no, you don't have to do it like I do, you do it your way, but here are different ways of looking at things, thinking of things, and ways of solving certain problems. I photographed the whole book, and it is, I think Rizzoli did a beautiful job of the book, so I'm very pleased with it.
Well, Rizzoli did a beautiful job. You did a great job with photography, and it's wonderful to see an interior designer photographing their own work. And Margaret Russell did an amazing job with the text, which is very insightful and inspiring to read. Now, the book, to me, it's an essential guide to decorating, and it's divided into very helpful design sections: evolutions, challenges, integrations, reinventions, and freedom. What was your approach? Why these categories? What was your approach to those sections?
Instead of just having a book that you put all your work in it, I thought to separate it by the problems and the solutions that these jobs had, whether it was small budget and difficult spaces to work with, coming to a change of life as the children's leave, and then, taking your environment and giving it a different slant to it. Things like my apartment, which is so completely free thinking of how I mix things without the restrictions of the necessities that client, require. I think all these things really was separated, so when you're reading a section, you understand why the things that I did were done. So, yeah.
one of the projects is called Space to Breathe. Broadly, what does that mean when it comes to interiors?
Well, I think that an interior is a shell, is a stage. And you, as the person living there, then reacts to it. I think that if a space has air to breathe, that gives you a sense of lightness, a sense of expansion of your mind. I think clutter just restricts your vision. And so having a place to breathe is a place that you can think, that you can relax, that you're able to really progress. So that's what it means to me. And that gets achieved in many different ways. Having the furniture float in the center of the room, a sense of lighter colors, reflected surfaces. All these things give you the sense of airiness. So I want to put that across for the reader to really focus on that.
There's space to breathe, but there are always interesting elements in your interiors. You know, there's always enough beautiful, interesting objects to catch the eye, but they never overwhelm you.
Well, I want the space to breathe, not to bore you. So bringing in objects that start to form a paragraph.
Yes.
Of what the person who lives there, what their likes and not likes, and little sort of intimate, you know, slices of their personality. So each thing is like a puzzle. They're all forming an environment. It's not about furniture, it's about creating an atmosphere, a sense of well-being, sort of thing.
And Vicente, in the book has many design lessons, which along with the floor plans are very helpful. What is the role of layout and flow? You slightly mentioned that, but if you could tell us a little bit more about the role of layout and flow.
Well, I think that they're all subliminal messages. How you enter a room, are you blocked in the entrance? That's giving you maybe not the right message. Do you want people to walk in and look at a bed straight on, or look at a seating arrangement that invites you in? And how you maneuver yourself through those spaces, I think it's very important, because it's all part of the comfort that you feel in being in the environments. It's not just the objects, the colors, the light, the artwork, but it's how you flow within that space that really can make or break a space.
You share a lot of design lessons in your book. Are there any lessons that you have learned from your clients? Because obviously this is a very personal relationship that you have with them.
Well, I mean, I've had clients that took me to another place. One particular client who does not like anything with a curve. Everything has to be straight 90 degrees. And that was an education, because you have to step out with the right situation on your comfort level and mold yourself to what the requirements of the client is. So it's a lesson to listen, and B, to mold your creativity to suit, you know, the things that the client wants, whether it is something that you are accustomed to doing it or not.
Mm-hmm. It's patience.
Patience? Yes, a lot.
A lot of patience.
Well, because you're educating, you are bringing them further than their comfort level is at that moment. Maybe when the job is finished, they've already evolved to the next step. So they really only see it when it's all finished. So you're going through these hurdles as you proceed on a job because of fear, insecurity, what their friends say, those sort of things. So only when this job is finished do you really realize, oh my God, now I understand what you were saying. Yeah, but now it's over. But, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
And obviously your
You
clients
can't start from the beginning and work your way backwards.
Obviously, your clients trust you a lot to take them on this journey that sometimes take years.
No, not with me. Years I don't have. No, our average job is from the moment that they progress, they sign on, 15 to 16 weeks.
Oh, very, wow.
And the maximum of a job that I've worked on in all these years is a year. When there was all construction and all that. But it's a long time. You are intimate with somebody, not just as friends, but as the fact that how do they fold their underwear? They're the side that they very rarely show to the outside world. You're part and parcel. You're seen really behind the curtain when you're working with a client.
Absolutely. And we're seeing into your studio, and there's a lot of art on the walls. What is your approach to living with art?
Well, I collect photography, and though the drawings as well incorporated, it's so funny because people say to me, well, we're buying this painting. Should you come and look at it to see if it works? And if you like it, it should work within the space because I'm designing to suit you. And all the objects are things that you like. So the art should be able to work whatever the coloration is. I mean, I don't believe in matching something so it's the right color, because then you're using art as a decorative thing, which I don't think it should. For myself, I've tried to collect points of views, whether it was Italian futurist or surrealist or Russian avant-garde. I saw the collection as groups, as not just open. I like to see it as a place that you can have in a museum, as a show, as a collection.
So that's a very conscious collecting, and photography is so wonderful because it has great energy.
Absolutely. And that moment is, each time you look at it, that moment is happening right there. It brings to life. I have one of my photographs that I own is Fred Astaire dancing, and he's jumping in the air, and he's there. He's doing it. I mean, yes, wonderful paintings can give you a different emotion, but I think photography gives you a sense of life and a sense of energy that not too many other mediums can give you.
And for that moment, Fred Astaire is there, and that energy is captured. Vicente, your showroom, VW Home, is a wonderful resource for designers and others with an interest in design. What sort of objects, well, actually, there's two parts to this question, I think. What sort of objects catch your eye that end up at VW Home? And then separately, tell us about your own collections that are there.
Well, I mean, the showroom through the years has evolved. I travel once a year at least around the world, and I buy objects that please me. And the reason that I do it that way is because I never wanted the showroom to be something that I'm putting something in there just so it sells. But besides that, there are objects that I've designed. I mean, I brought some pictures like, upholstery, indoor, outdoor furniture, more upholstery, and like this chair, like the dining chair, so they can be used as a frame chair in the living room. So there have been objects that I've designed in my job, and that I have found to have great, usability, and so we sell them there at the showroom. We have a web collection that I've been doing for many years. So it's just things that are part of my aesthetic.
Well, you can definitely see the world of Vicente Wolf in VW Home, and your pieces are particularly useful because a lot of them were created as solutions to a problem on a job that you were working on, and therefore, they're not just a collection of furniture, they're actually an intelligent selection of pieces that solve problems. There's a table that will fit in a corner because if I remember correctly from my visits to VW Home, there's like different things that solve problems, and just for your collection it's worth going, as well as to discover what you have found on your trips.
And I mean, there are things that I bought in the jungle in Borneo, to Paris, to Rome, just a mixture, because that's how I design. There are elements from different cultures, different periods, that then really bring a dimension to a space.
And when you see them together in your space, they have a new life, because you have gone all over, and somehow all of these objects from Africa and Asia and Europe are then together in your space. And there's interesting conversations that happen just from seeing these objects.
Well, because it's being selected with the same eye.
Yes.
So whether it is, doggone ladder in Africa, or, an 18th century chair, they're all, being selected through the same sort of aesthetic.
And talking about your aesthetic and your eye and your work, what's next for you that you can share? Any new projects?
Well, I leave next Saturday for 7 weeks traveling. So I'm going to start, I hope, knock wood, working on a new book. I think that when you are in the industry for a long time, you have to say to yourself, is this how I want my career to continue? And so you have to start to think of, how do I want to evolve? Do I want to stay doing what I'm doing now? And if I want to evolve, where do I go? What is it that I want to do that gives me pleasure? So that is the thinking process I'm doing right now. I love designing, and I would, I could do it 7 days a week. But I think that you need to broaden your point of view to be able to really keep developing. So
you also are very giving of yourself and very sharing of your knowledge, and we see that in your 5 books, and we see that particularly in the last book. So hopefully you'll continue to share that wealth of knowledge with people in the industry who value your point of view.
Well, the YWCA, which has lectures, I'm giving a class next year in the spring, 2 classes on design. You want to listen. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't that people shared with me and were generous with me. I think that the biggest gift that you can give is being able to pass on what you know, and just give it to somebody and let them develop it in their own point of view. So if you don't do that, I think it's not nice. Yeah, you have to share what you've learned. That's how things grow.
Well, you've always been very sharing, not only when it comes to the creative side of things, but you're also very, if I can say that, you're also a very good business person, which is probably why your business is still around after all of these years. And these two things go together. So thank you for being so generous with yourself. A last question that I ask all of our guests is, what is the power of bold design, and what does design contribute to our lives?
It certainly doesn't cure cancer, but it allows people to live a better life. I mean, if you're miserable, you're going to be miserable in a beautiful space. But if you are in a wonderful, open, sort of warm space that sort of holds you, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel more protected. The visual aesthetic of looking at beautiful settings, of looking at flowers, these are all things that enrich our personality. And I think it's important that, that is in your life. To not live with an aesthetic level is to not live a full life.
I think that's very well put. And I would like to encourage our viewers to get their copies of Creative Interior Solutions. I have mine.
What a great looking book. I mean,
it is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I bought it here in England, so it's worth every pound and more.
It's certainly heavy enough.
It's heavy enough. Absolutely. Well, check out Vicente Wolf and Associates Instagram feed. Make sure you go on VW Home. If you're not in, if you're in New York, pop into the showroom, and if you're not, go online. And thank you, Vicente, so much for your time today.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Vicente. Likewise. Bye-bye.
Bye.